Also, this Dennis Montgomery, if it wasn't a deal, they wouldn't be talking about it. He was granted a immunity where he can't get in trouble, and there's these hard drives, and they have all this information of 200 million Americans, their bank accounts, all the information to take down firewalls, their emails, and that's occurring. And just in a digital sense, how much of just a simple notion of a hard drive can lead to catastrophic dysfunctionality when it comes to all the ducks lined up in a row if everyone has all their eggs put into one basket. This happens all in allocation, bifurcating is a better word, of when you're agriculturally having all these deficits and they're making ketchup be lab-grown meat. We're in lab-grown meat. What's the perspective of in-store purchase? It gains a whole new retrospect when the equivalency of what is recombinant, if that's seen for what's adherent on a menu set list, how much of that spacing is topologically equivalent to just owning farmland. The difference of tipping when it comes to how much of what is written off as money that is, what's the word for it? Thank you. No one. Fiat currency written off or is equal to tips. Now in store, that's a gain of access into your personal ability. The more that you can have a business be thrown in with another variance. Being opened or closed is essential or non. This new world government is ostensibly saying people are all going to die, and if you sign on to us, you'll have a foot in with what we call essential, and it's going to be widely incorporated with these last two examples. So if someone makes a contract, but the money's not there, it could be a fiat currency, and the contract can be as far as vast as when governments do trade deals. When governments do trade deals, it can be extremely vast because they're separate. They have the United States intelligence agency, and they have unlimited funds to do whatever they want anywhere in the world. And they're never held accountable because they have a special drawstring they pull. It's a special sector in the law where they can't get held accountable. And when you have a license to kill, you all of a sudden don't listen to directions. That's part of the stanza of James Bond where it's so fun to see what he does. Unfortunately, in reality, fiat currency during a lockdown opens the floodgates. So on Twitter, the FBI handles the information going in and going out, 40 of them, so corrupt. The investigations where they're holding footage, not letting it get out, of any policemen who were at the Capitol waving people to come in. They just walked in, they're all arrested. Yesterday, this last name of Lorenz, Rebecca Lorenz, this grandmother, 70 years old, getting arrested just 2 days ago by the FBI. She was at the Capitol praying, okay? And all these people at January 6th, they're still in jail because they're awaiting their appeal. This is coming up on 2 years now. Ever since the FBI and CIA, incredible evidence that they killed a standing president, Kennedy. Ever since then, their power within the government atrocious. I used to be, my pet peeve was YouTubers who just shout when they're filming. There's this one guy called Mr. Beast, and he just flips his hands a lot and does this. It's so tacky, but when you're screaming into the camera, it's really easy to talk because you have this overconfidence that allows you to be overpowering, which is equally as tacky. But when I get triggered and you like are just using a really loud voice, it's really easy to think. The answer to any of this is, of course, sorry for low lighting, gingerbread houses, toy houses. The more that like they imitate a cuckoo clock and are elaborate, you taking them apart is almost like in the Nutcracker how elaborate those dolls were, and Dollhouse was Uncle Drosselmeyer. He was just fanciful, and you know, that exhibited a night of whatever the hell the Nutcracker was about. But getting crafty with like food cultures and angles with things that are tacky, like not having an outlet in a chair that's right in front of a register. You know, you shouldn't have a chair sitting in front of a register, but if you do, it's tacky not to have an outlet there. It's tacky not to have an outlet there. Or a chair that its back is right in front of a door's entrance on its corner. That's tacky because if you lean back comfortably, you're going to have oncoming traffic always going because it's sat right in front of the door jam's corner. Or behind it, rather. Or behind. And knowing any of this FBI stuff is just because there's a lawsuit with the contractor, all this legal jargon. How do you make suits fashionable? I mean lawsuits. And knowing there's a show that's called Suits, and if Americans know anything, it has to be firearms and commercialism. So, understanding shows is a good thing. Is a good thing. Along with some guy just wants a email of all the parents in a school, and the court has to because it's some fancy law.